Okay. We're just basically ito yung start ng show ng Medyo Serious Talk Show. Walang standards. So we just talk. Attorney. Guest natin ngayon, Attorney Chel Diokno. Ladies and gentlemen, para sa akin, one of the unfortunate few na hindi naging senator. We feel like na I think mas qualified ang mga taong mas may alam sa batas na maging legislator. Sinasabi ko lang, opinion ko lang. Baka naman may ibang mga dyan magalit. Baka, iba, baka isip nila mas qualified pag actor ka. Hindi ko alam. Pero, putting all that heat aside, welcome. I actually enjoyed, na ngayon, Attorney Chel Diokno, the vlogger na. hindi na masyado human rights lawyer, or do you still dabble on defending people?
Yes, I do. Pero parang sa comments mo, hindi kaya ito naka-move on pa.
Di pa. Pretty much a big chip on my shoulder. Pero yun, I've been enjoying a lot of your content. And nakakatawa kasi parang I never thought that I would see that side of you. And it's so funny kasi parang akala ko, he's gonna do legal advice, vlogging. I thought it's gonna be serious for a long time. And then may mga kita ko mga questions na sobrang hindi serious. And then actually very insightful and very And then, ang honestly, general realization ko when I'm watching your content is that wala talaga akong alam sa batas. So, if ever, as an artist, comedian na medyo outspoken, I feel like, pag nadampot ako, feeling ko wala akong alam sa batas, aaminin ko na lang na tipong, game yan. So, I think one of the first questions and I want to talk about din is that do we have enough laws to kind of like safeguard our creative freedoms? As an artist, syempre, libreng lawyer consultation to. So, aabusuhin ko na, di ba? So, do you feel, kasi recently may mga nadampot, sila Pura Luca Vega, sila Direct Jade Castro and everything. So, do you feel like we have enough to kind of say na, nag-express lang siya, guys, huwag niyo siyang arestuhin?
Well, hindi ka nag-iisa when you said that you never expected me to come out like that sa mga vlog. Ako rin naman ganun eh. But going to your question, there are enough laws.
Okay.
Wala naman really, the Philippines has a good legal framework pagdating sa batas. Mostly ha.
Okay.
Pero pagdating sa enforcement, talagang ganun tayo.
Oh, okay.
And minsan, hindi lang ganon. Minsan talagang sinasadya.
Okay.
And to me, yun yung talagang minsan kinababahala ko. Because I really don't agree with a lot of things that are done na naging SOP na sa atin.
The law enforcement,
Yeah.
And minsan, it's such a, tawag doon, the law is so bended na yun na yung, tama ka, yun yung naging SOP. So, is it just law enforcement that's the problem? Talagang, does it start with our law enforcement people, or parang, does it has to be, something has to change from somewhere?
There are systemic flaws in our system.
Okay.
Part of it is law enforcement. Part of it is the way our justice system works in the courts.
Okay.
So let's start with the police.
Yes.
We have a big problem there because it's not a scientific approach to crime detection.
Okay.
Diba sa TV, they
Tama,
detect,
tama.
right?
May forensics.
They deduct. Ito hindi pwede itong suspect kasi may alibi yan eh. Et cetera, diba? They really check first. But for example, in the case of Direct Jade, they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, wow.
It so happened that they were in a town near the town where somebody burned a jeep.
Exactly. Yeah. They were vacationing, di ba?
Yeah, they were vacationing. Nagpe-fiesta sila. Apat sila. Apat din daw yung suspect na nakita doon sa sunugan. And yun lang. I mean, just those circumstances already made them
Suspects.
Actually,
hindi lang suspects. Yan yung kinonvict yun. Parang ganun.
And then, alam naman ng police yung SOP. Alam naman nila that you can only arrest without warrant in very limited circumstances. Pero dito, ang ginawa nila, yan yata yan hulihin na natin.
Talaga?
Okay. They claimed that they were arrested in hot pursuit. Hot pursuit is where, let's say, a person breaks into an appliance store, comes out carrying a TV, nagpapatrol ang police, and may dalang TV yan. It's middle of the night. Siyempre, you can arrest. Kasi it's obvious the circumstances. But in this case, what happened was, there was a report of that Jeep burning, and then there were witnesses, but they didn't say anything about Sila Jade were the ones involved. And then the police actually went to to Sila Jade, Direct Jade, but did not arrest them. In-invite sila sa presinto. Una sabi nila, why will we go? Wala naman kaming crime.
Yeah.
And then they were again binalikan second time, and that's when they were arrested.
Wow.
So paano magiging hot pursuit yun?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So that's what I mean about very basic procedures that all police should know. Hindi nasusunod.
Why are they so enabled, these policemen, to do such things na talagang outside the law? Bakit?
Mahabang usapan.
We have 40 minutes.
It's a confluence of so many factors.
Okay.
I think part of it is the war on drugs of
I
the
see.
last administration, where the police, many members of the police really felt that they were in power and that they could do anything they want without any accountability.
I see. Okay.
The other is that it's really a mindset that has never been taken out of the police. It's thinking that because I have the authority, I can do things that and get away with it. When what they don't realize, and I say this so often, hindi naman sa kanila yung authority na yan.
Tama.
They don't own that power. That power is ours.
Yes,
You know, we gave them that power. Therefore, when they deal with us, they should be dealing with us with, you know, some,
Tama.
some form of...
In service of the people who bequeathed you the power. Diba? Parang ganun. Is it such a, tawag doon? Do you think it's such a problem na matagal siyang ma-repair, or is it like it just takes some kind of law or Republic Act or whatever to...
You know, I truly believe that we can fix the justice system.
Oh, okay.
Not just the law enforcers in 5 to 10 years. It can be done.
5 to 10 years?
Yes, it
Wow.
can be done. For example, let's look at the reverse. We want our law enforcers to arrest and prosecute people who are the real criminals.
Tama.
You talk about syndicated crime.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, dami.
Now, for them to do that, there has to be enough evidence so that when they give the case to the prosecutor, boss, eto na, sapat na yan, pwede mo nang ipakulong. The problem is this. If you look at how the police gauge their own performance every year, meron silang tinatawag na clearance rate and solution rate. So, ang ganda ng term, right? But when you read the fine print, what it means is that they have identified a suspect and charged him in the prosecutor's office. Now, to charge a person in the prosecutor's office, like sila Direct Jade, all you need is some evidence, what we call prima facie evidence.
Okay.
Kahit konti meron kang basis, pwede ka na mag-file ng complaint. Ngayon, if that case prospers and reaches court, the prosecutor handling it is going to say, where's my evidence to convict? Because under the Constitution, you need
Kailangan
proof beyond
evidence,
reasonable doubt. Mabigat yon. So, you know what our conviction rate is? It's only around 25%.
Oh.
1 out of 4 of criminals
So,
or suspected
when they
criminals,
get tried, hindi na masyadong, they don't really...
nakakalusot sila.
Nakalusot sila,
In fact, organized crime, I believe, they love it here because it's so easy to get out.
Yeah.
You only have one chance, you have 75% chance that you'll get acquitted.
Yeah.
And then, ang dami pang ibang mga butas.
Ways to get out of there,
to get out. So,
before the trial. Yeah. Sobrang, pero 5 to 10 years, a bit kind of, di ba siya super optimistic? Don't you
okay,
think?
so going to that point, what would I do to address that problem?
Yes, oh yeah, no.
Okay. I would, it doesn't need a law.
Oh, okay.
If the chief executive simply orders from now on, PNP, NBI, lahat ng law enforcers, when you hand over a case to the prosecutor, make sure you have enough evidence to convict. Gather it because that's your job.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do. Witnesses, physical evidence, etc. A simple directive like that is going to go such a long way to increase our conviction rate. So that's one. Of course, the second main problem is what everybody knows. Ang grabeng bagal na sistema.
Totoo yun, yeah.
Sobra. A case, in my own situation, I handle human rights cases. My own record is a human rights case that lasted 29 years.
Wow!
29 years.
Grabe.
Hindi pa ako bugado nung nangyari
simula.
yung incident. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, ordinary criminal cases can reach 6 years, 10 years, 20 years even. And to me, that's a crime in itself.
Okay. So compared to other justice systems, how do we fare?
There is a rule of law index that's done by the World Justice Project every year.
Okay.
So they look at 142 countries.
Okay, so lot.
Then they look at delay and all these other things. We rank at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
We are like 120s out of 142. Doon tayo.
Philippine pride. That's so bad.
Yes.
Oh.
But I truly believe it can be done. What's the problem? Number one, our leaders don't even talk about it.
Yep.
So it doesn't become part of the national agenda,
Yeah.
and it's not a priority.
Exactly.
When for me, if we want to attract foreign investors to the country, we have to have a good justice system.
Hindi siya
Maasahan
mukhang,
nila.
tayo
di ba?
mukhang lawless cowboy
Yeah.
land, di ba? Parang ganun. Yun yung parang napag-usapan din namin ni JC before in a previous episode. Like, if you wanna be an entrepreneur here, there's so much red tape to go through. Hindi ka na-incentivize. What more pa, yung legal system is not that great, di ba? So, there's a lot of things that you can get away with. But if it really just takes 5 to 10 years to kind of like rehabilitate it and everything, bakit siya, you like what you said, but hindi siya priority ng ating administration or any kind of administration before?
Ayaw nila ng accountability. There are people in government who do not want real accountability. I believe takot sila because they might be the first to go to jail.
I'm
being
mismo,
direct. Yeah, I'm being very straight with you.
Yeah.
And that's why parang etsapuera mo muna yan. Huwag muna natin pag-usapan yan. Since when has that been a part of a national conversation led by
Hindi
our
nga
leaders?
At all nga
Yeah.
Wala nga Hindi nga siya parang interesting debate topic Parang hindi nga siya ganun Diba?
Pero alam mo, Red, meron pang mas malalim na problema dyan
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason why cases take forever is because we really lack judges and prosecutors.
Oh, so personnel
Yeah,
din.
the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
20% of our courts, 1 out of 5 trial courts, walang judge yan. 33% or so of our prosecutors' position, bakante.
Oh.
So if our justice system was a hospital, kulang ka ng doktor, kulang ka ng nurse.
Yeah.
Every day may bagong pasyente pumapasok. How can you dispense justice quickly?
Yeah.
Now, why does the appointment process take so long?
Yan.
That's where we get into politics.
Kasi
Yes.
may mga tao sila,
Kasi
mga tao sa ganun.
ang nangyari, to get appointed, let's say, especially to a higher court, kailangan may backer ka. Pag wala kang backer, yung papel mo, kung saan na lang may iwan yan, or if it reaches Malacanang, nasa ilalim, hindi mapupunta sa itaas, the president has to appoint over 1,000 people when he or she sits. I think it's around 1,600 if I got the number right.
Yeah.
Kasama doon yung mga courts.
Oh, wow.
So lahat yan nagigit-gitan para ma-appoint. And it has become so politicized.
Oh my God. So, it's everything. Diba? Parang lahat ng posisyon, parang naalala ko dati kasi my parents work in logistics. And then parang sa customs daw, parang they've barely had like leadership na would know about import-export, logistics handling. Parating it's just appointed by someone na, I guess, kaibigan or something like that. Yun, mahirap solusyonan yun. Even like, I don't know, kahit gawing presidente ka bukas, feeling ko parang kaya ba yun or...
Kailangan, well, that
Kulang,
can be
no?
addressed by legislation, I think. That requires
I see.
they appoint only professionals to those positions.
Oo nga. It seems na parang we've never really gave weight to people who are credible. Parang yun yung feeling ko. And I'm not talking about like people who are appointed, people who are elected, na parang feeling ko, it's such a, yun, sinabi kong joke kanina na parang mas naboboto yung mga artista and everything. Actually, I do like a routine joke now na sabi ko, sumikat na ako, nagka-Netflix special na ako. It's only logical na maging senador ako next year. Parang
Mga kaibigan, wala pong pinatatamaan.
Pero yun nga yung sinasabi ko, parang lalo na ngayon, in the panahon ng internet, na anybody can be an expert, kahit sino pinapakinggan just because madami silang followers and everything. All the more now na wala masyadong weight on credibility. And I think, kaya rin parang I bring in like a lot of content experts in this show, is because I feel like, makinig tayo dun sa may alam talaga, di ba? Hindi yung, talaga, nag-inuman tayo, tapos nagmarunong tayo, tapos yun na yung fact, di ba? It's such a, tawag dun, such a weird way to go about life na hindi tayo nakikinig sa mga taong may alam. Di ba? Di ba masyadong ano yun? Going back to, I think, the laws that we have to do, is there a certain kind of parang directive specifically? Is it more of like the current personnel has to adhere to certain kinds of standards or more of like maghanap tayo ng personal change at some point? Ganun ba yung dapat mangyari? Or a combination of both?
Tingin ko it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Kasi part of it also is there's a lot of impunity when it comes to respecting our basic rights.
I see.
We saw that during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Yung mga netizen na may pinost lang na medyo may patama sa administrasyon, pupuntahan sa bahay.
Yeah.
Yung ganon, kakasuhan ng kung ano-ano. And then later, the cases just get thrown out anyway in court.
Yeah.
But the chilling
Yung hassle,
effect on other people who are online, syempre takot ka na.
Exactly.
Nahuli to.
Nadampot to eh.
Baka naman, pag ako nag-post, ako rin ang tatamaan. And that's also the problem with when cases like the case of direct trade happen. Kasi it can happen to anyone. If it happened to him, kahit sino pwede yung target. Yeah.
It's such a kasi, and hindi nila pwedeng sabihin na hindi apektado yung iba. Like, kunwari, drag artist like si Pura Luca Vega got, because people were offended by the performance, na yung ama namin performance. Ako naman, as a comedian who does religious jokes, I would think na parang, whoa, teka lang, am I vulnerable now? Or parang, paano ba to? Pwede rin ba ako madampot pag may na-offend na someone? Things like that contribute to what I feel like yung law enforcement natin has become notorious, more than reliable. Parang ganun. Parang, I do this bit where I go and ask the audience. So sometimes it's like 1,000 people in the theater. And I would say, sino ditong tinulungan na ng pulis? Sino dito naghanap ng tulong sa pulis? Walang umiimik. Parang ganun. And then I go to do this bit about the police and everything. I don't post it. It's live only. Pero, parang, it's a small sample size, but I've done that joke for like mga 3 years. It's always 300-seater, 200-seater, 500-seater, 700-seater, 1,500. Walang nag-speak up. Parang wala. It's such a, parang, wala sa utak natin na magpatulong sa pulis. Ganda na siya. Kusog naging culture na natin na parang, nakakatakot pag umabot ka na sa pulis. Parang, na yun, talagang last resort mo na yun, parang ganun.
Tsaka kahit pupunta ka lang sa station just to do a police blotter, parang matatakot ka, baka mahuli ka pa.
Hindi lang yun, tsaka hindi sila welcoming. Like, I would always say na parang, hindi siya comforting kapag humingi ka ng tulong, tapos papaupuin ka sa monoblock na sira, tapos yung dikit ng masking tape, tumatama sa balat mo. Mga ganong klaseng small little things na pinapagawa sa'yo. O gawa ka ng salaysay, bibigyan ka lang ng coupon band, tapos ballpen, tapos parang, hindi mo lang papatype sa'yo or anything. I had an experience kasi na parang na-rear end ko yung isang kotse sa harapan ko. And I was like, come on, dude, it's just a dimple. Bigyan na kita ng pera ngayon. Like, how much do you want? Ganyan mo. Sinabi ko parang, right then and there, sabi ko, I can give you like, pwede ka lang transferan ngayon sa video app or something na 20K, parang ganyan. To fix that. Parang ginahassle tayo pumunta. Gusto niya magpresinto and everything. The guy was trying to kind of hustle me kasi he went back at me after the police thing. Tapos ang sinisigil niya para mga 70,000. And then ang resibo na binigay niya was like a bond paper receipt from like a weird talyer. Parang ganun. Sabi ko hindi siya OR guys. Ganyan-ganyan. Parang kung OR yan, tas it's like a talagang totoong like kasa yan or something. Game. So, nilabanan namin na we said na parang we're game to pay but only if it's like tama, appropriate. Yeah. Like, I would even pay for like the hassle na ginawa ko sa day and everything. But they wouldn't have that. They were trying 60, then 30, then mamaya-maya, pinasabi na ako because binangga ko nga siya and everything. And yung fiscal, parang kilala nila, tropa nila, parang ganun. As mamaya-maya nung sinasabi, binimediate nila na around the 30,000 na yung parang nakakatawa nga kasi parang every time na mag-session, mga baba. So, ibig sabihin, ano ba talaga yung value nito? Diba? Parang mabot ng 19K. So, parang, and this was a period of 3 years.
Wow.
3 years. Naalala ko nung unang time na nagpakita ko, naka-face mask pa ako. Nung sa dulong court, wala na akong face mask eh. It went to court and the judge was like, this is ridiculous. can't you just go to mediation court and figure this out? We ended up settling for 5,000 after 3 years. Pero yun yung akin, parang why was it even entertained? Kitang-kita mo naman na the guy was trying to hustle. Alam mo yan, parang kulang yung ebidensya and everything. Ba't nagkakaganon kaya mga...
The system is designed in a way that it can be abused easily. Hindi ka nag-iisa sa ganyan.
Yeah.
Ang dami ko ng mga ganyan.
Yun din kasi I'm pretty sure parang bangga lang to. Paano kaya yung ibang gusto talagang i-bend yung rules, di ba? Anong like mga, give me like mga instances na talagang it's really terrible for them?
For example, when search warrants, let me just clarify, hindi ko naman nilalahat ang lahat ng pulis, ha? Meron naman maayos na pulis
Naka-mark yung description, yung ano na yan, disclaimer na yan sa buong episode natin.
I have friends in the police force, and then there are very professional people there.
Yes.
But I'm talking about those who aren't that kind. It is, I can talk about this now because it happened long time ago. Okay. Mahabang kwento to.
Daming disclaimer.
I was
Daming preamble.
I was staying at that time in like a parang townhouses na maraming makakatabi.
Got it.
I was about to leave my house to go to my office when one of the drivers of the other owners comes to me with a tabloid. Oh, sir, di ba yan yung kapitbahay natin? So I look at the picture, said, oh nga, parang ano yun, foreigner na I think Taiwanese, something like that. And I look at the newspaper and it says, Shabu Laboratory raided in Laguna.
Wow, okay.
But when we see it, I said, katabi natin yan. Baka naman meron dyan na... yung chemicals that, could be...
harmful, yeah.
Okay. So, it so happened that one of our... may kilala kami doon na related sa PNP. So I said, sabihin mo sa amo mo na dapat tawagan niya ang PNP para at least go through the right motions, get the search warrant and check. So, sure. I leave for my office, I come back in the evening. And as I came into the place, I saw these guys standing in the one corner. And because of my experience in law, I've been practicing for so long, immediately alam ko police sila.
Okay.
So I park and I approach them. Sabi ko, boss, CIDG kayo, no? And they said, oh, sir. I don't know if they recognized me or not at that time. I said, ba't kayo nandito? Mag-serve kami ng warrant. Okay. Sabi ko, yung unit. Oh, sir. Sabi nila sa akin. Maganda yun. Thanks for doing that. Kailan niyo serve? Bukas. Bukas. Kasi wala pa po media.
Oh my God. Hinihintay.
Okay, so next morning, I'm about to leave again for my office, and I look out the window, and the place is full of media and full of government officials right outside. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go out first. Okay, so I'm watching from the window, and they execute the search warrant and start bringing out, those huge trash bags. Huge, as big as this table.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, mga 8.
Okay.
Yun daw yung chemical na ginagamit to make shabu. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was right beside. Madaling masunog yan eh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they
were just stashing it there.
It was just here all the time. So fine. When they leave, I also leave for my office. I come back in the evening, and I thought, tapos na yung search.
Yeah.
When you conduct a search, when you execute the search warrant, you're only allowed to get what is stated in the warrant.
Okay.
So it says illegal drugs, ganyan.
So anything related to that, yeah.
And I saw a guy coming out from that place carrying a electric fan.
Wow.
And then carrying other personal belongings. Sabi ko, ba't niya dala-dala yan? And then he looks at me and just smiles and gets in his car and leaves. Now, I wasn't sure if he was a police officer or not kasi hindi naman siya naka-uniform. But, I mean, just by, inaisip ko lang, if he came from that place where the place was searched, and then I was talking to our neighbors after, and they said, oh, the place is cleaned out. There's nothing left inside.
Oh my God. Grabe.
This happened many years ago.
Wow.
Okay, and I can't give you any other details. Baka naman.
Grabe yun. So, kung police nga sila, they're very much bending the rules na and everything. It's such a such a scary thing to even kind of imagine what they can do to you, or what they how vulnerable you are, because they have the ability to do that. So I have this theory na feeling ko we're running out of good people in the country. A lot of people migrate. Our nurses na cream of the crop, they don't stay here.
Yeah.
Parang ganong klase. So do you think it's the same thing with law enforcement din kaya? Do we not get the best of the best people in law enforcement? Parang wala pa ako narinig na tipong, summa cum laude ka sa UP, saan ka pupunta? I'm gonna do a career in the police. Parang ganon. Wala masyadong ganon, ano?
What saddened me was during the war on drugs, at the height of the war on drugs, I was hearing stories of the good cops, some of whom I knew, who were studying abroad or even finding ways to find work abroad because they couldn't stomach also what was happening in that time.
Oh my God. Grabe. It was so ganun din. We also lose them to other countries. Kasi yun din yung parang, it's such a recurring theme. When we talk about issues, parang feeling ko, kulang tayo sa, kung basketball team to, we're losing our star players to other countries. Diba? So, parang pinakakita dun ko rin, yung national team ng basketball, ganyan. Parang, okay, may dalawang player na hindi makakalaro na magaling, you immediately feel the impact. So, I feel like parang, gano'n lang yung way ko to explain na we don't just need leadership, we also need that the people na actually nag-execute is also very competent and very good. Diba? So, I don't know kung paano.
Magandang analogy.
Yeah.
Kasi, for example, there are so many countries who are willing to help us with law enforcement. They're willing to provide equipment, training, to upgrade our system. But it's like we're playing basketball against another country. They have the best scientific approach to the game, and here we are. We just pick up people off the street and say,
nakasasa lang tayo sa talent nila, parang gano'n.
Magaling bumalya to. Sige, kunin natin yan. Ganon.
Yeah.
When really, what we need is just a very simple, classic approach. There's a crime, we have to figure out who did it. Ganon kasimple lang yan.
You think it's just training?
It's training, that's mindset and training. I'll give an example.
Okay.
In countries like the US, when someone is killed, let's say, and they didn't see the actual killing, they have to figure out who did it. Then they'll look at the family, other people who might be, then they'll ask them, where were you when this happened? And they'll check out the alibi.
Yeah.
If it's clear, okay, this guy couldn't have done it because he was seen by 50 people in a concert, sure. Then they'll only go after the people na talagang may basis.
Yeah.
In our country, I've never seen, in my experience, I've never seen police check out an alibi.
Wow.
What makes it worse is that in our jurisprudence, in decisions ng court, ang daming cases yan, sabi ng Supreme Court, alibi is a weak defense. But, I've handled cases for a lot of poor people. Their only defense is alibi.
Yeah,
They'll come to me and they'll say, Attorney, hindi ko ginawa yan. Bakit? Wala naman ako dun eh. Nasa ibang probinsya ako, nasa ganito ako. But if I use that defense, then the judge has a convenient excuse to convict. Alibi is a weak defense. Attorney Diokno, you know that. So why are you doing this? Siguro wala ka ng ebidensya.
Why is it deduced na weak defense ang alibi?
That's one thing I have personally been, that's one thing I want to change.
Okay.
Because that's my point. Okay yan, if the police actually check out alibi to screen you out.
Okay.
Fine. If they checked out your alibi, didn't, then you still insist when the case reaches court that you use an alibi defense, mahina talaga yun.
Okay, gets.
But if they didn't even bother to check your alibi, do you know the case of the Visconde case?
Yes. Hubert
where Webb was in the States, remember?
Yeah. They had videos. And
initially, the lower court judge rejected that alibi.
Wow.
Because Sabi niya, it's not physically impossible that he could charter a private jet
Wow.
and come back to the Philippines.
Oh, I mean, like, kung i-check mo lang lahat ng possibility,
That's what I mean about yung alibi sa weak defense. Na kahit na ganon, hindi pa rin sapat. Come on, I mean, you know, we need to upgrade that and modernize.
I mean, siguro hindi na sila aabot sa trial if the law enforcement checked out the alibi. Parang ganun ba yung... So pag umabot ka sa trial, pag ginamit pa rin yung alibi mo, that's when it becomes weak.
That's when I would agree that it's weak kung ganon. But
Pero hindi.
hindi.
Oo.
And do you need a law to change that? No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you just need someone, the coach or the owner
Tama,
of the team to say, okay,
enforcement lang,
mula ngayon ha,
Hindi na yan, ano.
checkin natin lahat na alibi. And then ensure, chinek mo ba talaga?
So, judges would say na tipong, okay, meron kaming 5 witness and selfies na nandito kami sa ibang lugar ng time na to.
As a practicing lawyer, even if I had a good alibi defense, I wouldn't even say the word alibi in court.
Talaga?
Because if I say it and the judge latches onto that, I'm giving him a chance to convict my client. And
then wala tayong
talo na
dito
ako.
ba? Like the judges talaga. Wala tayong jury. Wala tayong ganun, di ba? Do you think that's something that we should apply or?
You know, that's one thing that's really a weird thing that happened when we were colonized by America. Because what happened, di ba? Spain muna tayo. Then Spain imposed their laws on us.
Yes.
Our civil code, you know, our penal code, lahat yan galing Spain.
Okay.
When we were ceded by Spain to America, they didn't change those laws, but they changed our court procedure.
Oh, okay.
They got from America yung rules ng courts doon and put it here. Kaya naging adversarial system tayo, you know, prosecution, defense,
Prosecution,
etc.
defense,
Problem is, the rules that they put in here were designed for a jury. But we never had a jury ever since.
Oh, wow.
So when I teach law, I tell the law students, my young law students, pag kayo naging abogado, pwede ba, palitan na natin tong rules natin kasi hindi pang atin to eh. Wala naman tayong jury.
Tama.
But unfortunately, that's not something that the legal community has been cognizant of.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how about you? Do you feel like you should have something like that? Or ibahin natin para mag-fit to a more...
I don't think we can adopt the same kind of jury system as America. Kasi magastos yun. You have 12 people in every case who will sit, then you have to pay them.
Kasi
won't be able to
pulling
work.
them out of their lives, di ba?
Papakainin mo pa yan, yung hotel mo pa yan. It's very costly. But there are some European countries that we can adopt. What they do is they have a civilian, not a lawyer, sit with the judge. He'll watch the proceedings and he or she can come out with their own decision. Or they can say, I fully agree with the judge, or I don't think that's right yung decision ni judge. Kasi nakita ko sa evidence, ganun. So it's more of a lay person's perspective, which we need. Because,
parang input lang, parang ganun.
Kasi the law in our country, only lawyers understand.
Yeah.
I go to court, ang kliyente ko may master's degree sa Harvard, pero business. Paglabas namin sa pre-trial, he or she will ask me the same question my poorest client will ask me. Attorney, anong nangyari? Hindi ko naintindihan yung English nyo eh. Because we speak such a special language na English.
Puro jargonized.
Jargon eh. And even members of the media, after a Supreme Court decision comes out, they'll call me, other lawyers, paki-explain nga, anong ibig sabihin nitong decision, di namin naintindihan.
Tama. Parang ano siya, should it be, so dapat may effort to translate it into like a better, kasi that's what you do with your vlog, di ba? Like there's so much effort, and hindi lang naman ikaw yung nagbibigay ng legal advice sa mga content and everything, di ba? Parating, in-explain mo siya in a such a way na, may ganun pala, gets ko to, okay, ganun pala yung mangyayari. Ito yung bounds and yung limits or yung situations na pwede mong i-apply ito and everything. And sometimes, na-apply ko na rin siya sa iba kong iniisip. Alam mo yun, hindi na siya parang ganun. So, do you think there should be more effort to educate people on the law?
I truly believe. And actually, Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, way back, filed a bill that says that all laws should be written in plain English.
Oh my.
Agree ako dyan. it never passed committee.
Oh, wow. Talaga? Bakit? Because tedious lang? Ganun?
I don't know.
Oh.
Kaya hindi naging batas yan.
So, TikToker ang mag-save sa atin. Lahat ng mga TikToker dyan, ayusin nyo. Minsan mag-sift through ako, dapat i-organize nyo yung mga ganun. Pero minsan nga may mga like silly things na nakita ko sa TikTok na like, okay, yung sanga nung mangga ng kapitbahay ko, nasa bakod ko na. Pag kinuha ko ba yung prutas, akin ba to? O sa kanya? May mga ganun, di ba?
Binlog ko yan.
Oh, yeah. Diba? May mga ganung klaseng mga stuff like ganun. So ako parang, wow, what a great topic to talk about, di ba? So yung mga things like that, na parang, okay, so may ganun palang klaseng batas. And dun ka mga fascinate na, wow, we have such great laws to, tawag dun, to safeguard a lot of like situations and everything. Pero hindi ko ramdam. Bakit ganun? Diba?
Hindi ka nag-iisa. and you know, it's sad kasi we have the capability, kaya naman natin gawin yan. Yun lang, it needs a mindset and it needs
focus
to be put as part of the priority.
Okay. Why is it, the part of the priority has been, is it something na they don't even touch? Or more of like parang they discussed it and then parang okay, mas importante itong ibang issues na to? Or talagang they prefer it that way?
It only happens once in a rare while that bills are proposed to strengthen the justice system.
Okay.
Yung to address the systemic flaws that we're talking about. Part of the reason, as I mentioned, is there are people who don't want accountability.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And the other part is, you know, when you have a justice system that works, you empower ordinary people. Pag yung manggagawa, kinilala mo yung rights niya, or yung indigenous person, or LGBTQIA+ community, you're empowering them.
Yeah.
And after practicing law for 3 decades, ang feeling ko, there are people in our country, they just want to have all the power themselves.
Yeah. Parang, kapit sa patalim type of mentality na rin. Kasi I've been abused this way. So, if I gain more power, I can protect my family more. Parang ganun na yung nangyayari. Instead of like, having hope. Or, di ba?
That's the same reason for me why there are people who really insult human rights and make it like, baliwala yung
parang
human
baliwala,
rights yan.
exactly.
Wag natin na walang pakian. It's because they don't want accountability. That's really what human rights represents. And rich people, powerful people, they don't need human rights.
Yeah.
Who needs human rights? It's the marginalized in our country. Though the people are always abused, always the victims of oppression.
Tsaka may mentality talaga tayo dito, not to kind of like simplify it. Pero when you say ayaw ng accountability, sobrang evident siya sa Filipino culture. I'm not sure kung lahat ng culture, pero to our culture, when we can get away with something, we do it. Parang para makalamang and everything. Even down to the gagawa ka ng fake account para mang-insulto or para or para magsabi ng comment na masama. Wala na accountability kasi cartoons yung profile picture ko, iba yung pangalan ko, di mo malalaman kung sino ako.
Well,
para kang
may ganon, pero meron din yung mga they find 10,000, 50,000 in their tax and return it.
Yeah.
And you know, that really amazes me.
Ako din, yeah.
Because they can get away with it. And yet, nandun sa character nila na hindi ko magagawa yon.
That's the kind of like, I'm not even saying na it's just slivers or glimmers of hope. Pero I feel like yung majority pa rin ng tao is still good. Lalo na dito sa Pilipinas. It's just that there's so many situations that they are coerced into doing something or something like that. Yun yung parang feeling ko na I guess kailangan nating ayusin or something.
You know, I really felt that in the last national campaign.
Oh yeah, sa campaign, yeah.
Because despite the fact that there were so many, umaabot na milyon yung pumunta sa rally, not once was there a stampede.
Wala.
Not
Wala
once
nakaw.
Pag may nahulog na cellphone, binabalik yung phone. Pag nakitang wala nang mainom, binibigyan ng tubig, pinapakain, naglilinis. It's there.
Grabe. Dun yung pinakamaraming time na kumain ako ng malambot na turon. Kasi, hindi ba? Kasi minsan naabutan ka, tapos parang, kanina pa ito eh. Hindi ka naman makatanggi. Pero totoo, di ba? Yun yung talagang bayanihan mentality na when something, a big cause needs helping, Filipinos would really rally to it eh. Nakita natin yan sa mga bagyo and everything. I think that was the largest feeling ng goodness na naramdaman ko nung time na yun. That was crazy. Nakaka-miss. Ulitin natin. Just wanna dabble on this a little lang kasi patapos na yung episode natin. But there's always clips or videos of our prisons. And it's always cramped. It's always terrible. Do you think that in itself, sige, criminal tong mga to, that in itself is a violation of human rights because they're living, like they're sleeping on top of each other, mga ganong klase.
Definitely. And okay, let me himayin natin yan.
Sige, sige.
Okay. Not all of them are criminals.
Yes.
Most of them are what we call PDLs.
Yeah.
Persons who deprive of liberty because they have a case.
Yeah.
So under the law, presume innocent pa rin sila. Di pa sila nahatulan.
But they're just
conviction.
being held there.
But and that in itself to me is inhumane.
Yeah.
That you're gonna put people who aren't criminals, just charged, in a place that's designed, let's say, for 100 prisoners, but it has 1,000.
Yeah.
We have one of the highest congestion rates in the world. At one point, we were number 1 in the entire world.
Wow!
When it comes to overcrowding.
Oh my God.
May COA report a few years ago, ang congestion rate ng jails natin, 450%.
What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Wow. So we're basically 5 times the capacity more yung inaano natin.
Now, even for those convicted, the law still requires that you treat
Tama.
them as human beings.
Yes.
So kahit na-convict ka, dapat ang jail mo maayos.
How many of these people that occupy them are not even convicted people?
More than those who are convicted.
What?
I think.
So we can really technically decongest it by just, letting the innocent people go. Why are they being kept
the
there?
numbers doubled and tripled during the war on drugs because during the war on drugs, hindi lang yung
may quota.
EJK ang nangyari.
Yeah.
Maraming nahuli na yung 0.00 something ng shabu. Na even the judges were complaining already.
Na hindi na kailangan yan, no?
Bakit lahat ng kaso ko dito puro ganyan-ganyan kaliliit na shabu? Where are the drug lords?
Yeah.
And you multiply those people charged with those small amounts of shabu by how many? So nadagdagan palalo yung congestion ng jails natin. The Supreme Court, to their credit, did address that because they came out with these plea bargaining rules that said that you could plea bargain and get out of jail so that para ma-decongest. But one sad effect, I like what the Supreme Court did. I want to be clear on that. Pero meron akong may mga na-report sa akin na there were people who said, I'm innocent, but my only way of getting out of jail, I'll just plead guilty na lang.
What?
Para makalabas na ako.
Wow.
Hindi ko kaya dito. It's so grabe.
Yeah,
conditions.
tama. Oh. So guilty and then convicted, bayad na lang sila, ganong klase.
They go out, minsan may rehab, may requirement na rehab. Depende sa situation.
Pero di ba parang you're kind of being cornered into, di ba, parang, pag plead guilty ka, everything will go away. Di ba parang ganong klase? That's crazy.
And it's tough for a lawyer.
Yeah.
Kasi let's say, I believe, based on the evidence, walang basis yung prosecution. Pero my client tells me, wala akong choice, boss. I have to respect that. Even if for me, I would rather fight that case in court.
Kasi if you're gonna fight that case in court, how long would they stay there pa?
Your guess would be as good as mine.
Talaga? So it's really...
Years.
Could be years?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so innocent people, could be innocent people, unconvicted people are staying years in jail because they're just waiting their turn in court. Tama ba? Meron ba tayong, we're gonna wrap things up, pero meron ba tayong solution? Kunwari, ewan ko, medyo baka bobo lang ako, pero kunwari, we had a power grid problem, we privatized it. We had a roads and highways problem, we privatized it. Can't we privatize, or how are we doing it na? Prison.
They've tried that in some other countries. I know in the US they did that to some extent, but it also has its own set of problems.
I see.
I don't think I would want it privatized kasi parang less pa nga magiging accountability pag private persons yung magpapatakbo niyan. What we really need is simply to enforce the nice laws that we have.
Okay. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Atty. Chel. Next week, Tuesday, nakakalimutan ko i-promote show ko. Tuesdays at 1 News, 9 p.m. Kung wala kayong TV, it's on YouTube. O, if you prefer, magugas kayo ng plato habang nakikinig dito. It's also on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. Attorney Chel Diokno is here. And that has been our episode. Honestly, I could talk like more and more. Pati ko sinasabi yun. Kasi sinasabi ko sa kanila, kabaan yung oras ko eh. Pero, sorry. It's all the time we have. Thank you so much for having.
Sure, thank you.
I'll see you guys next time.